Alright guys, good evening. Tonight we're loading up some 44 Magnum. I got some 180 XTPs, and I've also got some 240 cast bullets that I casted a while back. Doing 25 and 25. The cast, I did 8.0 tight group, and then the 180 XTPs, I'm doing 10.3 tight group. So we'll press a few and see what we can do here. Alright, so I'm using this hopper this evening. Like I mentioned in previous videos, a lot of times with my pistols and revolvers, I usually just use a dropper instead of using the scoops. I still weigh each charge though, but when I'm doing pistols and revolvers, I'm not quite as anal about. I mean, let me phrase that. I still try to make sure I get the right charges, but I'm not as particular if it's 0.1 off or something. But anyway, so let's press a few here. So when you're doing pistols, revolvers, you usually have to use an expander die so you can flare your case out a little bit. So you can flare it out. You just got to bail it just enough to get your bullet to set in there. Now with rifles, you don't really have to do that as much because most of those are boat tail. Even with the non-boat tail bullets, usually those can go in a little better, especially if you size them right. But anyway, so there's 180 XTP. We are seeding these for my Blackhawk. I'm seeding these at 1.59. Now the book calls for 1.6, but I do 1.59 for my Super Blackhawk. I don't know. That's just what that particular firearm likes. I've had the best accuracy and all of that, doing 1.59. So that's what we do. But anyway, here's another one that's charged. So I'm gonna go here. Let's see. So we got our expanding die right here. Run up. Let's see, we just bailed the case just a little bit. Flip around to our seeder. And see, by just bailing the case a little bit, see how the bullet will sit on there. Push it all the way in. And that's a good thing about these RCBS dies. They'll give you a nice crimp. And with 44 Magnum, especially in a revolver, you want to make sure you have a decent crimp, because of the recoil. So, all right. Flip here. Band and seat. Okay. Powder. Band. Check our charge. Right on the money. And see. So there you have it, loading 180 grain XTP for 44 Magnum. Now these cast bullets Now I changed the charge on those. Those, like I said, I did 8 grains of tight group with those. I'm going to reset our die a little bit for the cast. Alright, now these already had these cases charged, so alright, expander, and here's the cast bullets I'm using from the Lee mold. And the lube that I'm using, I use the Alox lube. Where it's got these grooves, I really should be using the lime and orange lube. But I tried that liquid Alox on these. I mean, and it worked fine. I didn't lead my barrel, and it didn't cause any kind of problems. So, you know, I just loaded a few of these up. But again, where it's got the grooves, you really should use the wax lube on these. The Alox is made for more like the, you know, the molds that don't have these lube grooves, okay? So I wouldn't recommend, you know, I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing with those bullets. I mean, if you do, you know, it'll probably be okay. But like I said, I did it a while back just to test it out and see, and it worked fine. Didn't lead my barrel. I didn't have any accuracy problems. Didn't have any problems at all. I did notice the liquid Alox lube's a little smoky, but it's not a huge deal. But anyway, so we're seating these though. We're seating these at 1.57, okay? And those of you who have the Ruger 44 Magnum carbine, the semi-automatic, don't shoot lead in those because it'll clog up the gas block. Now, if you have a lever action or something like that, sure. But if you have the semi-auto Ruger 44 Magnum, which I have 2 of them, but if you have one of those, don't shoot lead in it because it'll clog up the gas block. And I know that for a fact. It even says not to, but one that I have, it when I first got it, the gas block was clogged up, and it was because someone had shot lead through it. Now, I don't know how much lead, but when I cleaned it out, the barrel was full of lead, the gas block was full, it was bad. So, and it wouldn't cycle, it was in bad shape. So anyway, so there we go. There's some 44 Magnums. I'm going to write my data on my card here and stick it in my box. And these will be for my Super Blackhawk. So, everybody, happy reloading. And remember, if you're not shooting, you should be reloading.